Shit.
So, like, a movie or something came out, I think, and we saw it. So there. Not that one. That's not out. Well, there was a really good one that you haven't seen yet. It just came out a few months ago. Star Wars The Last Jedi. Good or bad? Kyle, it's here. One of the most anticipated films of 2018. Probably not for you, but for some people, including myself.
It was so anticipated. I didn't even know Benicio del Toro or Laura Dern were in it. I didn't know who the director was.
Well, there you go. That's insane to me, but sure enough, there you go. The director, by the way, was Rian Johnson of that one movie where Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets makeup to look like Bruce.
Looper?
Yeah, Looper. That's it.
Cool story.
Yeah, I know. Looper's pretty good. So, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, in my opinion. I had some nitpicks, little problems here and there, that had little moments that didn't work for me overall. But overall, I liked a lot of what they did. I liked the direction they took. I liked the way they progressed the characters. And I had a lot of fun watching it. And I thought I enjoyed that it was different than what I was expecting. So
I forgot what I was watching halfway through.
There's Kyle's opinion on it. So yeah, you said before that you didn't really like it.
It's not that I hate it.
No,
it's not that I don't like it. It's that they're keeping the balls in the air, but they're not juggling as well as Empire Strikes Back did.
Well, I mean, I'll agree that I don't think, at least after one viewing, that I would say it's as good as Empire. But I want to see it again. That was one of my biggest takeaways I had with this, is that I think I'm going to like it even more the second time. And now, so I liked Force Awakens a lot the first time. Like, when I first got out of the theater, it hit everything right for me, and I was like, oof, this is really good. And you saw it way later, and you said you didn't hate it as much as you thought you were going to.
Yeah.
But it didn't do much for you.
But, yeah, that one didn't do much. And this one, like, took that and just kind of, like, either stopped it or just kind of took it down a bit.
All right. Well, so for me, I really enjoyed Force Awakens. When I got out of the theater, I got out, I was like, whew, that was amazing. Loved it. 10 out of 10. I saw it a few more times. And I say 10 out of 10. I wouldn't have given it actually 10 out of 10. But in the moment, I was probably like, yeah, that was perfect. So on repeat viewings, I still really, really like it. But I've probably lowered my score a point or two from what I would have originally given it. Just because I think that there is a little bit of truth, but not a lot. And I go into about reusing elements from other stories or from previous movies and that sort of thing. I think there's... Well, you could be argued both ways. But I see
it is Disney.
I see... Well, it is... You know, with J.J. Abrams, and that's what J.J. Abrams does. Is reuse things.
It's like a match made in heaven for that.
But this one, and so my score on Force Awakens probably dropped a little bit. This one, I think, my initial score is a little lower than what I would have given Force Awakens right after seeing it. But I think on repeat viewings, I have a feeling it's going to go up.
If you start with low expectations, you have nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, and I actually have very high expectations. And I were mostly met. We're not going to talk a very long time without getting into spoilers because everybody's seen it. So, I mean, you're not going to, like, base whether or not you're going to go see Star Wars The Last Jedi on what the fuck we say.
Yeah.
So, we'll get into spoilers so we can actually talk about what we did and didn't like, because it's almost impossible.
Especially somebody wearing a science and medical shirt.
Because it's almost impossible to discuss that without getting into spoilers. But, yeah, I think my biggest problem was little character moments that didn't quite do it for me, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
They weren't doing it for you?
Yeah. But overall, my favorite things that they did was that they surprised me in parts where I wasn't expecting to be surprised, where I thought I knew what was going to happen and then it didn't. So I enjoyed that element of it. I really liked a lot of the set pieces, like the opening action sequence I thought was really fun and really cool. In space, and then the closing action set sequence, and then one of the lightsaber fights that takes place in the middle, I thought were all really cool and entertaining and well done.
Holy shit, that was in the middle?
Ish. It's funny because it almost seems like the end, but it's kind of in the middle, actually, when you think about it. Not the middle, but it's like the second.
I gotta change it. This thing's like a foot away from me.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I really liked some of the, and this we'll have to get into spoilers, some of the choices they made with story elements. I really liked. Some of them I didn't like as much, but some of them I really, really liked and really thought it was a kind of an interesting new direction for Star Wars that I thought was kind of fun. So I enjoyed a lot of that stuff. But any other general thoughts before we get into spoilers?
They made shit for toys.
Star Wars. They've done that since
They
the
made a
second
Furby.
movie.
They made a Furby.
They've done that since the second
They
movie.
didn't make a fur. They made teddy bears.
Yeah,
in the
they made
third
fucking
film,
teddy bears.
but they
in the
made a
third
Furby
movie.
for this film.
I'll argue the Porg is 0% less offensive than an Ewok is.
How's an Ewok offensive?
I mean, in terms of like marketing, like being made clearly to sell toys or for marketing or for little kids. I don't mean offensive in like. I mean like.
Brian, I believe you have not heard of the hatchable. I guarantee you, hatchable porgs. They're gonna happen.
Oh, sure, maybe. I mean, but they actually modeled the porgs off of a thing that was on the island they were filming.
Yeah,
on.
Puffin, right?
Yeah, the island they filmed in this like Skellig Michael in Ireland, where they filmed has a ton of these puffins, and it looks very similar. So they just made a creature.
I say puffins. They're probably in like I don't know the Antarctic area, whatever.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of puffin. I think that is true, and so they did a similar thing.
Point being is they're stupid looking birds.
I will say this. I think they overplayed the porg once or twice. They had it. I was okay with it.
Oh, during the
they went to that. Yeah, towards the end of the movie, they went to it one more time than they should have. I felt like, and I was like, all right, we got it. We got the porg, and I'm a big part of #PorgNation. So it's a stupid Twitter thing. I think the argument that they made shit for toys. It's like sure they've done it in every Star Wars movie, even the first one. I mean, there's a reason George Lucas was like, I want blank % of all toy sales from here on out, or whatever.
Arguably, in the first and second one, they didn't make stuff that was particularly for toys, except for C-3PO and R2-D2. Those were things that were clearly made for toys.
Yeah, but I'm saying they have been doing that since. Yeah. It's not like it's a new thing. Like all.
Yeah, no, clear. Yeah, right? But even say like Rey and Finn are not like clearly like.
Not made for toys.
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah, it's just certain things.
BB-8 was because he's a soccer ball with a magnet.
So he's the R2-D2. I mean, it's the same thing. Yeah, I don't think that. I think to me that argument's like, sure. I mean, they have tie-ins. They sell toys. My only problem is if it's overused and like Jar Jar was over abundantly used in the prequels, and the Porg got very close in this one to being annoying, but not. It didn't get there for me, but it was like what? I was like,
you just wait until the next film where a Porg is like the ambassador to the New Republic.
I hope so, actually. I'm down with Porg Nation if they want to represent themselves in the Galactic Republic or whatever happens in the future movies. I think that's going to do it, though. I liked it. Kyle didn't quite like it. We're going to get into spoilers. Like I said, you didn't need everybody's already seen it or is going to go see it anyways. This is going to be the spoiler discussion where we talk about the specific things we like, so if you haven't seen it, skip and you can turn the video off.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
Now you can say that thing you said at the beginning that I had to bleep out.
Oh. You mean the part where Mark Hamill couldn't negotiate for another movie? Oh, okay. No.
That's not why they wrote
it.
Well, Snoke dies.
What? Shit! Shit! I didn't know that shit.
Which I actually thought that was an interesting idea. I didn't see that coming.
Well, he seemed relatively, benign to begin with.
Yeah, well, because we didn't know a lot about him. That's one of my... So, to get into some of my nitpicks that were my problems with the movie that I didn't like, and they're little things, but there were moments that I was like, meh. My biggest one probably in the entire film, and it's stupid, but it just felt very out of character to me, and it's at such a climactic moment of the film that it kind of made me go, ugh. The moment where Luke confronts Kylo Ren on the battlefield out in front of the Rebel base.
You mean where he dyed his beard?
Yeah. Well, that was the whole movie.
I know.
Yeah. Or at that point. He trimmed it. I think the ends were whatever. It doesn't matter. He confronts them, and they blast all the lasers at him.
Mm-hmm.
And so initially you're not sure. You figure Luke's there. Or maybe he's there,
I gotta say, during that sequence, I was pretty damn impressed that Finn was able to avoid all that laser fire to get back into the base.
Yeah, they're not worried about him. They're worried about Luke's motherfucking Skywalker. They don't care about that random guy dragging some dead girl over there. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Because when all those, yeah. Anyways, so he blows all that up, and then all the lasers and the dust clears, and Luke steps forward, and it's a cool moment. And you're like, "Oh, did he like block all the lasers with the Force or whatever?" And then he brushes his shoulder off, and that little moment for me was so like, why? That's not, to me, that wasn't a thing Luke would do in that moment.
No.
It's a great moment. Have it happen. Have him walk forward like, fuck you. Like, and they'll stand there, like, and just be, you know, chill and Luke Skywalker. And it was a little thing like that. The other moment that kind of I don't think I liked was the Leia moment when she gets blown into space.
Oh yeah, that, because apparently the Force can keep you from the vacuum of space.
I'm willing to buy that. I just don't like how they did it. I'm willing to accept. Sure, she's strong with the Force, and I'm willing to accept that in the intervening years that we haven't seen, she's sort of, become more in tune with the Force and worked more with it, because she knows more about it from Luke and that sort of thing. I'm down with that, sure. I just wish they hadn't made her Mary Poppins fly back into this. Yeah. I just wish she had just like survived. And, like, they got her or something. You know what I mean? Like, somebody, like, a little ship went out and grabbed her or something and she survived. I don't know. Or it all blew out and she used the Force to stay, like, inside the bridge right next to the door and, like, live. Just some other way to do it where it wasn't her, like, whee, flying. Something about that was a little cheesy. And
somebody put in some Mary Poppins music over that.
All I could think of was, I don't know if you saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but there's a moment where one of them's flying and goes, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! And it's Michael Rooker's character.
You look like Mary Poppins. Is he cool? Hell yeah, he's cool. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
It's all I could think of was when that happened. But little moments like that just, I was like, But overall, I really liked it. What were things that didn't do it for you, Kyle? Spoiler-wise, anything in particular?
The pacing. It's entirely the pacing.
Really? I really like the pacing.
Because, like, they... Okay, so, like, they're being chased, right?
Yeah.
And then they have to go to that casino planet.
Yeah, they're being chased, and they have, like, 12 hours of fuel or whatever until they get caught.
And then they go there, and they start, doing stuff. And then the entire time, every time they go back to the ship, I was like, right, those people are dying. There's people dying there.
Well, right. Well, actually, only, like, 2. Because if you notice, what they did is that every time one of the big ships ran out of fuel, they would get everybody off it to the main ship, and like the one person would stay behind to fly.
Which, by the way, why is that a thing?
I agree, because she's like, I gotta stay and fly the ship. I'm like, you're telling me none of these motherfucking spaceships have autopilot
or droids to even do it?
Or a droid. I know. I thought the same thing. I know why they did it, because they wanted the moment with Laura Dern. And I actually thought that was really cool, where when she spins it around and hyperdrives through, it was one of the coolest shots in the film, where the sound completely dropped out, and she, like, cut a fucking slice through all of the, like, Imperial ships that were there. That was really neat, and it was really cool looking. But that also leads to a moment that was, like, a little weird to me, where, like, they're about to kill Finn and Rose on the ship, and there's like all these stormtroopers, and Phasma's like right next to him, and then that happens, and now everything blows up, and then Finn and them stand up, and there's like nobody.
Well, yeah, no, they got to come through the door again.
They come through the door. I was like, wait, where were they at? I'm confused.
But, yeah, okay, so Gwendolyn Christie, like, what do you think her contract was like?
I mean, it was funny because they had said in everything, like, she's gonna get more to do in the next movie. Don't worry, guys. We know you all wanted to see more, and I'm like, I kept waiting, and she shows up. And she's in it for 5 minutes and then gets killed. I was like,
yes.
All right. I was like, I bet Gwendolyn Christie's like, look, I'll be in your movie for 5 minutes, I guess, if that's all you want me for. But I'm getting 5% of every Captain Phasma doll that gets sold, because I will be set for life. I liked that scene, though, in the hangar, barring some of the, like, weird, like, whoa, wait, they were just right there, now they walked through again. Like, maybe there was some editing that got cut out or something. But I liked that whole fight scene in the hangar. I loved there was the great shot where her and Finn are fighting, and BB-8 is on the ATST in the background, is fucking blowing everything up. I thought that was fun. The things I really liked, that I really enjoyed about the movie that made it work for me, was... I liked, and this is a controversial thing, so the whole thing all the time is like, who were Rey's parents? Who's Rey's parents? And it turns out
not important.
They ain't fucking nobody. I actually like that a lot, because to me it makes sense for this beacon of the rebellion of the resistance, who are a bunch of downtrodden common people, banding up against the evil giant forces. For the hero to not be like from some ancient awesome bloodline that's like super powerful. That feels like something that should belong to the Imperial.
Relatively speaking, I mean, Luke's not even from a bloodline he's from a bloodline that's powerful, but he's not from a bloodline that's like any ancient, prestige or ancient or anything. I mean, Anakin was a junk child.
Right. I know. And I like that they went that route again, as opposed to having her just be from one of those other lines that we already, like, okay, yeah, she's powerful because she's Luke's kid, or she's Leia's kid or whatever, or the fucking clone of Emperor Palpatine or whatever goddamn stupid theory all these people were throwing out. I actually really liked that, assuming Kylo Ren wasn't lying to her, which I don't think he was. But I really liked that whole scene. I liked it that they killed Snoke. I actually thought that was interesting to have. He's sort of a MacGuffin.
Yeah. Also, it's like, man, for all your wisdom, knowledge, and force powers, you died in the dumbest way possible.
He saw what was going to happen. He just thought about the wrong lightsaber. Because he did see what was happening. Because he's describing the moment of, he goes, you're going to turn on the lightsaber, you're going to kill your enemy. And he did, but it was just the enemy he was thinking of was Snoke and not Rey. So whatever. I thought that was. I just like the idea because it's one of those things where it subverted my expectations of what I thought was going to happen. Because I definitely expected Snoke to be around and for us to find out more about him and like, which I could have used a little more about his backstory, but that's
I mean, he's a walking brain aneurysm, right?
Yeah, I assume, and I haven't read all of the books, but I think from what I understand from the books, he's basically just a Sith Lord who was way out in the Outer Rim, kind of waiting and biding his time for everybody to fuck everything up, and then he slipped into that power vacuum, which
still waiting for Yuzon Vong. Just saying.
Yeah
That'll never happen.
No, it won't. I really liked the fight scene with Rey and Ren, and I liked that when Ren like when they fucked up all those Imperial guards, it was a cool scene, it was a cool set piece. I really liked when that after it happened, Kylo Ren wasn't just good now. He was like, yeah, still fucking evil. Like, there's a power vacuum. We can be the most powerful people in the universe now.
Yeah.
And he was like, we should do that.
Well, I it's that. Quite literally, we can rule the dark side as, it's literally Vader.
Yeah, it is. It says we can rule together. I thought that was cool. And so I guess the idea now is that Kylo Ren's is going to be our bad guy in the 9th movie. Maybe he gets redeemed, maybe he doesn't. I'm
gonna say if there's not an overarching villain, there's not.
No, I don't think there is. I mean, it's the First Order. Hux kind of to an extent, but yeah, it's gonna be Kylo Ren. What do you mean? Sorry, I guess
because like Palpatine was the whole
right. There is no Palpatine.
Vader.
Yeah.
Now that there's not a greater evil to overcome.
Well, there is. It's Kylo Ren and the First Order still. It's just
but there's nothing to redeem him.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying for like versus Vader. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could somehow bring down the First Order in the 9th movie and sacrifice him. I don't know. Who knows? They could do something like that. I assume. But yeah, I see what you're saying. There's no like Sith above him that's like he can.
Gravity in space. Got to talk about that.
I didn't think about this, but all I can think is that. Maybe that Dreadnought class is so fucking big.
It creates its own gravitation.
I mean, well, because Star Wars has always bullshitted gravity in space, though, because they always just fucking walk around in space. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally.
I thought
that is kind of funny, because, they drop those bombs and they just fall like regular, they don't just hang there in the spaceship. But then again, the people in the spaceship don't hang. Yeah, they've kind of always just bullshitted around with gravity. I actually liked that scene a lot, though, despite the, what you will about the science of it. Though I liked those bombers. I thought that was cool and different to have a fucking giant, slow-ass bombers.
Because we saw them from the back, and I thought they were just Slave One.
Yeah, they do look similar to Slave One, kind of. They're like a similar style.
The casino planet. Yeah, hey, look, they stole that thing from The Last Guardian. It literally looks like the chicken cat dog thing from Last Guardian.
Similar. Doesn't have it doesn't have feathers, but yeah, it does look a little similar. I think I haven't played.
They should sue.
I mean, it's a giant gazelle dog thing. Yeah, it is reminiscent though.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
I'm interested to see where they go. One of the other things I liked about it is that they can basically do whatever the fuck they want with the 9th movie. Because, there was nothing really... so the 7th one ended with, Rey is, sitting there with Luke, and, Finn is in a coma, and all this shit happened. This one, it's, they wrapped up a bunch of stuff, but, they're just going to go start the new rebellion or whatever. I'm actually wondering if there's going to be a big time jump. I think there might be
probably
a 10 or 15 year time jump to let the little kids who were inspired by Luke Skywalker grow up so we can kill them off in war. Or child soldiers, as my friend said. It would be a
very easy way to get rid of Leia.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is it's an easy way to write Leia out, is to go, and she went and retired on
planet that blowed up
Planet X over there that we don't care, and passed her man, because she does pass the mantle to Poe in the final scene there.
So. Yeah. Look, Laura Dern's in the movie.
I liked her. Mostly. I liked what she provided. I liked the infighting within the rebellion or within the resistance. I liked that some of them were they were straight up fighting over what they should do. I thought that was it would make a lot of sense for such a ragtag group of people that they don't just fucking like follow each other's orders, that there's like overthrowing each other, like, no, we should fucking do this, no, we're gonna do this, and they're like literally stunning the shit out of each other.
It reminds me of the South Park episode where everybody's trying to take command. It's like, I'm in charge here. No, you're not. Johnson's in charge. Not anymore, I'm not.
Not anymore, yeah. I actually like that. And so I liked that her character provided that. I thought for a while she was going to end up being like actually a traitor, like she was a plant from the Empire, because like, you know, when he started accusing her.
Well, they talked about...
And they played it up like that.
The thing is, Snoke talked about, that is an excellent, plant or whatever. Or
he
something
says that
to
we
track
have
it.
them on a string,
On a string.
is what Huck says. And Snoke goes, good job. All that really ends up being is that they were able to track them
Was they
through
able to
light
track
speed.
Finn?
No. I think they were just able to track their ship through light speed with a new technology.
Okay, it would make so much more sense if, like you said, they had a plan. Instead of them being like, we just mapped our way to it.
Yeah, that's what they did. They just tracked it through light speed. Yeah, because it would have been easy, or because I think if through Finn would have made sense, because
like he had like some sort of signal.
Like because he's a stormtrooper, he had some sort of like implant or something that allowed them to find them, and then they could still do the same set piece where they have to go destroy the thing that's letting them find Finn. You could do the same thing, and it would just make a little more sense than just they're somehow random.
Or a point where he finds out like they're using him, and he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I'm a little disappointed that Luke died. Just mainly because I liked when he said I liked the confrontation between him and Kylo Ren, and then when he's like, "See you around, kid," I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna get a good fight in the next movie between them." And then he just disappears. I'm like, "Oh, I guess we're not." Dang it.
Benicio del Toro's in the movie.
I really enjoyed it.
He's got a stuttering problem.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his character. He was fun. I feel like there was some resolution with him that got edited out for time, where like he's like leaving, he's like, and he had one of my favorite lines where Finn says something to him as he's walking away with the money, and he goes, "Yeah, maybe." He goes, I can't remember what Finn says to him. Finn says something like, "You'll regret this one day," or something. He's like, "Maybe." Like, he just walks off. I really like that line.
I gotta go spin this bling.
Yeah, bajillion credits. But yeah, we never see what happened to him. I guess he just flew away. I feel like there may have been some sort of resolution that got cut. What? Yeah.
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to.
What about Rose, Kyle?
They got a new character in the film. She's taking command, basically. Basically, for all the stuff that happened on that planet, she was like, "Follow me, dumbass Finn."
On which planet?
On the casino planet.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's because she knew more about the planet. She'd been there before, I think. I
thought she was on a planet that was like it.
Or that's what it was. Is that she was on a planet that was like it, so she kind of knew, more so than a stormtrooper who had never been anywhere like that. She knew a little bit more about that world and that lifestyle and where to go and who to talk to and that sort of thing. So I guess that, it made a little more sense. I actually liked Rose. I thought she was interesting. I wasn't expecting her to be the new love interest for Finn. That kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, not out of nowhere, but when she kissed him and then died. Well, she didn't die. She kissed him and like half died or whatever.
Throw her in like a Bacta suit like I had at the beginning of this.
Yeah. I like that they upgraded from giant Bacta tanks to like Bacta suits now. That just like pump it onto your skin. So
look, I'm wearing a plastic suit.
Yeah, you don't have to float in a giant tub anymore. I thought that whole final scene with the big battering ram and those speeders were really cool. I really liked those like junky ass speeders that had the open cockpit and like Poe sticking his foot through it. I thought those were fun. Oh, that scene did suffer from a thing, and most movies do this. But like they were like, we have 13 of these speeders, and I swear to God, we see like 17 of them get blown up over the course of that scene. Exactly. And then there's still 3 left at the end.
Most important part of this movie.
What's that?
Blue milk.
Blue milk. Yeah.
We get to see where blue milk comes from.
Yeah, me and my friends were discussing this because we were like, it's also a very disturbing scene because Luke walks up this giant, gross, titted monster thing and just squeezes it out and like.
I mean, the only thing he's missing is just going, oh.
Yeah.
Just right from the.
And then he like looks at her and he's like, he's like,
I'm a crazy person.
It kind of makes sense. It kind of works because he's been on this island basically alone for a long time, so he's a little, off his rocker a little bit. But I like to think that he brought those there. Because otherwise, how would they he likes blue milk so much? Like he brought
Well,
those
here's the
with him.
thing. It makes absolutely no sense if this is their natural environment.
Probably not, no.
Because they had it on Tatooine, which is a desert planet.
They could import it. You never know.
They're gonna import to the most remote desert planet in the frickin' system.
Yeah, I think he brought them there. I think he because he likes his blue milk so much that he reminds him of childhood. He had to bring his own pair of.
They're gonna have a Prairie Farms blue milk tie-in.
Yeah, why haven't they done that? They're really missing out. And they need to have it in the store. You got to squeeze a giant gross tit monster. To get it out. I love it. He just drinks it right out of the beast. It's still warm and gross.
None of that 2% shit. This is whole milk.
Whole fucking milk. Also, I got this moment. I love that Han had golden fuzzy dice.
Yes. I don't even remember that.
They're not. They're just. They're never in another movie. It's just one of those things where you never saw this, but they were there the whole time. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought it was funny. Does she leave a Force copy of those behind just to fuck with Kylo Ren? Because Kylo Ren finds them on the floor of the base and picks them up, and then they disappear. And I'm like, that's fucking savage, Leia. You left a token of his father there for him, and then you were like, nah, gone. And he was like, fuck. It's kind of hilarious.
Break away from all the goofy shit. My favorite genuine moment in this entire film that I just recaptured the originals. Yeah, it was only for about 30 seconds. It was when Yoda popped up and blew up the tree, and you had a moment where Luke became the student again, just for 30 seconds, and that captured the original stuff. And maybe it is just the characters in that regard and how well they play off each other.
Yeah, and how tied to them you are. From growing up watching them, and that helps too.
But there is that moment that felt like the original. Yeah. Everything else about Luke, whenever he was trying to be like the master, was just like, okay, old man Luke.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I liked most of it. I really liked how they played out the conflict between him and Kylo Ren, where we hear Luke's perspective, which is I went to confront him. We hear Kylo's perspective, which is he came in and tried to kill me. And then the truth, which was he came in, thought about killing him, and then didn't because, he had that moment of rage and then he let it pass. And then, so I thought it was a cool way to do it to where they're both kind of right. It's understandable that Kylo...
Rashomon, right?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's where you have different perspectives of a story.
And maybe. And then the truth lies somewhere in the middle there. Which I thought that was an interesting thing. I liked that a lot. And then, but no, I agree. The Yoda scene was fantastic. I loved how he looked. He was very much the Empire / Return of the Jedi Yoda, where he looked exactly like a puppet. He's walking around laughing and banging Luke on the head with a stick. That was all fantastic. Also, another moment that I really loved was when Chewie was flying the Falcon in the final scene, and he goes into that red crystal underground cavern. It reminded me so much of Return of the Jedi,
where he's going through the Death Star.
Yeah, with Lando. That was great, and it's just fun to see Chewie being a badass pilot because Chewie would be a fucking he's flown that thing for goddamn 60 years or whatever. So that was cool. I really enjoyed that. I was still hoping, even though I knew Lando wasn't in this, when they were like, we got to get a distress beacon out to help in the Outer Rim. I'm like, fucking, if Lando Calrissian doesn't come flying in a souped up new Millennium Falcon, that would be fucking amazing.
Why not bring in Billy D?
I think they will.
He's got nothing better to do.
I think they might in the 9th one. I feel like they're holding it out for something. There's no reason that he wouldn't show up at some point. It's just... because he said he'd be willing to do it. I feel like they're waiting for something.
Well, he's got to get a paycheck somewhere.
Yeah. He does some voice work now, I think. I think he did his voice in Rebels, actually. I think he was in Rebels or something and did the voice of Lando. I can't remember. But yeah, those moments really, when they hit well, they hit, and that was good for me, and I just liked what they did with the story and the characters. So overall, it worked for me, even though I had some nitpicks. And little moments. I'm gonna go see it again next Saturday with my family because my parents haven't seen it yet. Sad to see what they think. They'll love it. My parents love everything they see. But yeah, that's Star Wars: The Last Jedi in theaters now. I love it. We'll see. I really liked it. Kyle, met it.
No, I'm not gonna lie. What really would have saved their asses, really would have fixed a lot of problems. A little teleporter.
Oh, yeah. If they had Star Trek tech, it would have fixed a lot of problems. You're right. But thanks, guys. Guess what? Christmas Rush. It's coming.
What?
Get ready. Dean Cain in a go-kart.
Eric Roberts.
In a go-kart.
Eric Roberts.
That's our Friday episode. It's called Christmas Rush. We shot it. It's coming. It's epic. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Go fuck yourself.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
I think like maybe
Hanukkah's-
Hanukkah is going to be
This
over.
will come out Monday, so
Thursday.
it's like the last day.
I think Thursday's the last day of Hanukkah.
So yeah, I got a few more days of Hanukkah left.
We're not
Or else-
Jewish.
No. Yeah. So any of that stuff that's going on, enjoy them. Enjoy the holiday. Spend it with good people. And that's it. Bye.
See ya.